Welcome to the Naked Peaches. Yay! I'm Anna.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Sierra.
Also, I just want to say, I know that people are having a hard time telling me and Sierra's voices apart. We've been getting this feedback a lot, so I really did a close listen in the last episode, and I'm going to tell you the differences to look out for. This is Taylor, by the way, who's talking. So I think Sierra talks a little bit faster than me, and I think I have a little bit more of a vocal fry than her. But we're going to try and introduce ourselves a little bit throughout the episode as we're talking to help you guys tell the difference between our voices.
I'll probably forget, so listen out for Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't hear this is Taylor, it means it's Sierra talking.
Also, I feel like our laughs are very different too. And I'm a
Yes.
little bit raspy today from all the smoke.
Yeah, Sierra's raspy.
So we'll see.
So that makes it the vocal fry. You guys are going to sound the same.
Our laughs are different though.
Oh, it's going to be great. People are going to get used to it. It's going to be
Yeah.
fine.
Watch the videos on TikTok and our reels if you can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Because then you'll see us talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Taylor, what's our topic today?
Okay, so today we're talking about all things jobs, careers, toxic workplaces, career journeys, bad bosses, good bosses, all the questions that everyone's been asking us about our career journeys. We're going to try and answer them. And
a little bit about our current job, too.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
We get these questions all the time. And so we are going to try and keep it light, keep it funny. We're scared that this episode is going to be too business.
And to be honest, we were actually very shocked because we've been asking a lot of people the last couple of weeks, like, tell us what you want us to talk about. And this was by far the most requested episode.
Yeah.
And all of us were very surprised.
I'm always surprised, especially when people will write me and be like, oh my God, do you mentor? And I'm like, bitch, I can't even mentor myself. It's terrifying out here.
Coach is trying to come into the room.
Oh shit, should we let him in?
Yeah, let's let him in.
Sarah, do you
Yeah.
want to open the door?
Put on
This
a
is Taylor's
trip.
cat, Gosha.
He's a fucking
He's a
angel.
The
needy
best.
guy.
Come in, you.
Come in.
He doesn't like being locked out of the podcasting studio.
And I think he actually likes me.
Don't chew any cords, you motherfucker. You can't pet him though, because then if he starts purring,
It's going to be
it's
too
gonna
loud.
fuck up the audio. Just
Sierra's literally petting
This
him
is
right now.
painful for me. How can you not pet the baby? I love him.
look. This is a podcast for cat ladies. Okay, we're all
true.
cat ladies.
We
if you
read
didn't
books,
know.
drink tea, love kitties. It's just
Yes.
the leg of the land.
There it goes.
It's literally, I can see on the audio spike his purrs right now. This is
Oh my God.
amazing.
I'm gonna have to get rid of
Gosha, you have to go. Okay,
Yes.
now I think he wants to go out. Will you open
Sierra,
the door
can you let
for
him out again?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Bye.
I hope you still like me. Okay.
He'll forget about it in 2 seconds.
It's just a baby.
Where were we,
Career
gals?
stuff. Career stuff.
Career stuff.
Careers.
Okay, so before we get into the juicy stuff, I would just love to know what everyone wanted to be when they were growing up.
Should we start with like ages? Like at age 5,
Yeah, okay. So like when you were really little, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be Ariel. That is all I wanted to be.
I want to be Jasmine.
I wanted to, did you?
Yeah.
You know what? When a freaking star would shoot across the sky, I would pray and hope and wish that I could be Ariel when she's walking out of the water in that sparkly gown, going to get her man. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should we do a Little Mermaid boudoir shoot for you?
You might have to.
We
That
have all
would
the
be so
props.
fun.
But only
Yeah.
in that dress.
Yeah.
The white sparkly dress.
Yes.
I feel like that dress, like I've seen versions of it as like a wedding dress in recent years. Like
Yeah.
that style of like sort of falling off the shoulder
That's all I wanted
with the
to
sweetheart
be.
neckline.
But then when I got older, all I wanted to be was a photographer. Not gonna lie.
At what age did you want to start wanting to be a photographer?
13.
Wow. Imagine.
Crazy.
And honestly, if I really think about it, when I was like 11, I was like, I'm gonna be a Playboy bunny.
So good.
Well, this is the perfect
But, like,
combination
isn't
of
it
those
though?
two things.
Is that because you were watching Girls Next Door?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
watching that, and then like I used to hang out with like the older girls, and they would always have like Playboy shirts and wear like Playboy thongs.
Yeah.
What about
And
the
I-
Playboy sticker when you
I
go
was
to
just
Oh,
tanning
yeah.
on
you're
your head?
tanning.
I would get
Classic.
that.
So chic.
Yeah.
I would get that every time, and my friend, I used to go tanning with her, and her dad would just say that I was his stepdaughter. So I got to go tanning.
Wow.
My mom hated it though. She's like, "You're gonna get fucking cancer." I'm like, "But the sticker."
But I have a Playboy tan.
So
But yeah, that was my. And now I'm a boudoir photographer.
Wow. I mean, all your dreams came true, really.
Yeah. minus the
We
Ariel
just need
dress.
to do the photo shoot with the dress, and then
Yeah.
it'll
come
checked
full
all the
circle.
boxes.
What did you want to be?
Okay, this is Taylor. I wanted to be many things. It started out as I really wanted to be a backup dancer for like Britney Spears or Beyonce
yeah.
and sing.
Best job.
I grew up dancing, so
Yeah.
like I always thought I wanted to be like a career dancer. And then when I got old enough to understand that that was not going to be possible for me, I started really wanting to be like a journalist. And I think I like would watch I feel like all the rom-coms of our time were like these women who like worked at like a fashion magazine, and they were like so cool and like so chic. They had these glamorous lives, and they were like, I just have to write an article in the next month about, how to get a guy to fall in love with you. Like, and their lives just seemed like
how
that
to lose
was
a guy
what I
in 10
wanted.
days.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, like Sex in the City.
Sex in the City, Carrie, Devil Wears Prada, like all of those. I wanted to be a journalist, but like for a fashion magazine for a long time. And I also have always liked to write. And I went to school and was an English major thinking I'm going to be a writer. And I won't get into it yet, but like that is like the path I was on for a long time. What about you, Anna?
So yeah, I wanted to be Jasmine, 1,000%.
Did you like Jasmine because you were like, oh, she looks like me?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just had like long dark hair, and I was
Yeah.
like, she's so pretty, and like I really liked her
She's so
tiger.
fucking
Yeah.
Probably why I'm a cat lady now. I love the tiger. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So it was good. Then I wanted to be like, I was like, maybe I'll be an artist, or like I'll be a director. Then I was like, I want to be a lawyer in like 7th grade. Like I knew nothing about what lawyers do. And then I wanted to be a teacher, and that's what I like went to college thinking I was going to do. And then I moved.
What kind of teacher?
Elementary school. I thought I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know.
I love you, Anna, but
Never.
I could never,
Never.
see that.
No. I was taking a class it was like senior year. It was like a teaching class or whatever. And then you got to like, it wasn't student teaching, but for one semester we got to like be with a teacher in like a class and like help do stuff and whatever. And I was like, yeah, like this is great. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to do this. It's going to be awesome. And then I was like, took like half a year of teaching classes. Like I started whatever. And I was like, I don't think I want to be a teacher. And that's when I moved to like human services. I was like, I'm just going to work in nonprofits.
It's also such
like,
a
that'll be cool.
thankless job, and you don't get paid enough to like really help these children. Like teachers should be paid more than anybody.
And I don't really like kids that much.
Yeah, that's why I immediately was like, what?
I love my baby, and like I love people's kids that I know, but like
Same.
I could never just like be a teacher.
Same. When
I feel like you have to just be full, like bursting with love for like everybody you meet to be able to be really good at being a teacher, especially for young kids.
Yeah. And there's like a lot of kids or teachers that my kids have had that are just so amazing, and you can tell that like that was their path.
Yeah.
You're like,
So
that
when I
person
see
was
Anna-
destined.
Yeah, that was on my path. It was not my path.
I do feel like teacher is for sure one of those jobs that gets shoved down your throat as a woman as like, you'd be good at this because you're organized and smart and caring, you know? And it's very like, I feel like it's very socially acceptable to be like, I'm going to be a teacher because it's such a nurturing, like caregiving type of job.
Yeah.
And like, that is no shade to teachers. Like, I love teachers. I like some of the most impactful people in my life have been teachers. My grandpa's a teacher, like, but I do feel like as a woman, it's a very easy kind of like default if you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah. I think that was my issue for sure, because I loved math growing up. It was like my favorite subject. I like went.
Could not be me.
Yeah, I loved it.
For fucking real.
like,
I can't even do my kid's 5th grade math. I can't even fucking help him.
Dude, I was on a consultation today and I was like trying to add up the months of someone's prepayment plan, and I was like, let's see, there's 12 months next year and we have 6 months in the following year. So let me get out my calculator to tell you what 12 plus 6 is. And I was like, I fucking hate myself. How do I have a college degree?
Well, if it
really
makes you feel any
embarrassing.
better, Oscar is horrific at math.
That does
Probably
make me
worse
feel
than
better.
me. And he's really bad at spelling, so I'm like, damn, leg up on you, bitch.
Look at you. I can't spell.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, Anna.
No,
Back
it's
to your
fine.
math.
It's fine. I was good at math and I loved math, but no one would ever tell me like what like career can you have with math? And I'd just always be like, you'd be like, oh, like keep doing math. I'm like, great, like I love it, but like, what am I gonna do with it? You know? And it's like I feel like teacher is like one of the only jobs that you like see. You see what they do. You hear about it. And I was like,
You're obviously
mathematician.
around teachers all the time.
yeah. And no one ever like I don't know. I just
No one was like, you could work at NASA.
or like anything. Like I just feel like all these other jobs, it's like they don't actually get explained to you when you're younger. Like there's
For
no
sure.
like I don't know.
Doctors are really good at
day?
math.
Is that real? Like I don't.
Well, career day, I feel like you are exposed to a lot of jobs that you already know exist.
Yeah.
It's not like a lot of new information.
Yeah.
Because there's so many jobs that you don't even know are an option when you're trying to figure out what you want to do. And unless you're somebody who has a lot of connections already in your life as like a young person.
Do we need to
then
go
how do you know?
to career?
We need to go to career day.
need
Boudoir
to-
photography, pictures of butts. This is a career option.
Yes.
Guys and gals.
We make
and theys.
good money.
I mean, we could probably go to high schools and talk to seniors about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you want to be a photographer? Oh boy, do we have.
We would have the most pop-in booth at the career
would,
fair. It
we
would be like
would.
the bridal show all
would.
over again. Also, shout out to anybody from the bridal show who just found us and started listening to us. We
Thank
met a lot
you.
of amazing people at the bridal
So
show this
many.
last weekend.
And so many messaged us too, and we're just like, oh, your booth was so pretty, and like, you guys were so awesome. So like, yeah, fuck yeah.
You guys made us feel so good, and we had such a good time meeting like so many new people, and we're just very excited for
It was so
all of the
special.
new connections we made and all the new brides who might come do a shoot with us for their wedding.
Yeah, we love all our brides.
Yes. Okay,
It was a
sorry.
lot of fun.
I
It
just
was
had to
tiring.
like give them a shout out.
No, it's good. I love it. I love it.
I saw this TikTok. This is like going to be my signature phrase on the podcast.
This is Taylor.
I saw this TikTok. This is Taylor, and all I do is watch TikTok.
Same.
I saw this TikTok where this girl was saying that she was really into science when she was a kid, and she like was in the mathletes and was like in the science club and was just like obsessed with it. And they did like a science project for the science fair, and she got interviewed by the news, and the news anchor, it was her and a team with two boys. The
Okay.
news anchor was interviewing her, and he was like, so obviously your co-teammates built this, right? Just immediately said that to her, like assuming you're the girl, so you obviously didn't do anything. Like, you're obviously not good at science. And she was like our age, of course. So
Yeah.
she's like, so that was like the first like traumatic thing that happened to her. And then the next thing was that her, like, they did so well in the science fair that they got to go to nationals, and her team, like the National Science Fair, whatever the fucking organization is, only invited her two male teammates, and they didn't invite her. And like, she didn't get to go to the National Science Fair after her team like won. And it was like, made me so sad. There were all these people in the comments being like, you know, like, all the boys hated me for being like on the science club. Just like, they're like, it just made me so sad.
like, who gives
because
a
it's like,
fuck?
who
cares?
What the fuck does your gender
Yeah.
have to do with this stuff?
Why
Like,
does it matter what other people are doing?
But like science and tech and math are like they're so male dominated
Yes.
still, and
Yeah.
it's like it's so fucked up. Like I literally can't even tell you how many times like when I'd introduce myself with the team, they'd be like, "Oh, you're the designer." Immediately, just because I was like the girl that was there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not the designer, but like designers do really cool work. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. It's like way like above what I can do. Like, I don't know, but no one ever like wants to believe that like you can be like pretty and a girl and like do math. Wow, like,
Crazy.
yeah.
crazy. That's so fucked up for that poor girl though.
I know.
my
It's so strange because it's, what if the roles were reversed and it was like, we had all been really socialized to do STEM instead of teaching creative stuff, caregiving, like parenting, whatever. Like, how do you think our lives would be different now if like girls were treated the way boys are treated? Like, you know,
So different.
I mean,
Oh
I
my
just
God.
remember so many people telling me like, yeah, boys are good at math and science and girls are good at reading and writing. And it's like, is that
That's
why I
not
like
true.
writing? You
Yeah.
know, because
Yeah.
I was told to like writing? I
That's
don't
true.
fucking know.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I do remember hating math forever and ever. I don't know, it's because my ADHD, I cannot hang at all with
Yeah.
those lectures.
Yeah.
When they're just like, when they're just talking and like you're writing it down, then there's no time for it to like process in my brain. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like math either, but I just like feel like when
I
I,
do
would
wonder,
struggle
though.
in math, it would like I would like the response from adults would be like, "Well, girls aren't usually good at
Well,
math."
could you imagine
so
if
it's
they were
like,
like, oh, well, girls are really good at it. You're going to get this. You might have a different perspective on
Yeah.
how you approach your math and being like, oh, well, I'm just a girl. I'm going to suck at it, so I'm not going to try.
I might have been so much more empowered, and I could have become a mathlete and a NASA scientist.
Yeah.
You know,
You never
I could
know.
be on the moon right
You
now.
could like tell us the circumference of some girl's ass.
Taylor's like, I will learn how to calculate that.
New new project.
Yeah.
Girl got a juicy booty.
So there's this book called Brave Not Perfect, which this woman who, I'm not going to go into her backstory because it's, people should just look her up. She's really awesome, but she wrote this book. She's like the founder of the Girls Who Code organization. And basically the entire book's about how like young girls versus boys, how they're socialized, how they're raised. And like girls are always taught to be brave. Or sorry, boys are always taught to be brave and girls are always taught to be perfect, and how that like continues on. And because of that, it's like boys are basically rewarded for like learning because it's like bravery to like do something
Failing,
new and
making
fail.
mistakes,
Yeah, and
trying
girls
things.
aren't. And so then like they don't, and then you just like you watch how that continues to like
You have to make
unfold.
yourself small to be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh, that makes me sick.
I know.
I need to read this book.
you need to read this book. It's
I do
like
need to read it, but I had a very different childhood than most people because my mom she's very manly. She's very toxic feminist.
Toxic feminist?
Yeah, a
in
little
what way?
bit.
What did she do?
Just that she didn't want to hang out with girls, only want to hang out with men. Girly stuff was bad.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, like if I wanted to do something girly, she wanted no part of it. Like
She was the cool girl.
yes.
Yeah.
Very much so like that. So I was always taught to always be brave, always stick up for myself, always beat someone's ass if I have to. That kind of shit. So
Interesting. So you were like empowered, but like also in kind of a toxic way.
yeah.
So interesting.
I didn't get to like, there's a lot of things I didn't get to do or even talk to my mom about because I was like, oh, she gonna shame me for that?
Mm-hmm.
Like me wanting to wear makeup. Like, she's like, oh, why would you want to do that? That's so dumb. Like, or wear certain things, you know?
Okay, this literally goes back to episode 1 when we were like, you can't be all. You know, it's like
Yes.
you can't be like sexy and smart and powerful and brave and like all these like it's like you have to be like one, and like that's the only type of woman you're allowed to be, you know?
Yeah. As in growing my mom was very much against like girly girls being girly girls. She's like, oh, they're so fucking stupid. They're so fucking shallow. They're just little chicken heads. Yes.
Was that
like
an
that.
insult that she used?
I'm gonna start calling people chicken heads.
But yeah, she was very much like, those are little like those are stupid people.
Yeah.
So it's like I wanted to not be like that because I did not want to be stupid. I wanted to be brave and I wanted to be powerful and like all these things. But then again, I didn't get to be sensitive. I didn't get to be, you know what I mean? Like I didn't get to, I always had to be like hard.
I will say I feel like I was very like privileged in that my mom was always very into like a lot of creative things and like was always trying new creative projects, and like she was always beading and like making jewelry and like making all these like crafts, and I feel like seeing her trying all those things definitely helped empower me to be like, I can try creative things at least, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's not like she was out there solving math problems, but she
Never
was,
know how many beads are going to fit on that strand.
you know, she was doing experimental projects and stuff, and like that I think was empowering for me to see her doing that.
Yeah. I think I was raised very like my sisters and I were definitely encouraged to like be independent and like do just very much like you can do whatever you want to do, just go do it, like blah blah blah. Like I don't feel like in my home I was like suppressed necessarily.
No.
But
I just
outside
think-
of the home.
Well, it's just like normal society
Just
things,
society,
you know, that
yeah.
like the lanes that you kind of get put in as you like live in this world that we live in.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so, like I don't want to go too deep into childhood stuff because we also have a lot of other things to talk about.
Yeah.
So like,
Talk about our journeys like high school and on.
yeah.
I so
suppose.
one little transition, I guess, is like what you just said about like it empowered you to like be creative, you know?
Yeah.
One thing that I feel like is like almost the opposite of that in also a fucked up way is like when I was leaving tech, and I know we've like skipped ahead now a lot. We'll get back. Whatever. When I was
Whatever. We're
leaving
gonna be
tech,
all over the place. Okay,
Yeah.
get over it.
I was like, to myself, like nobody was like shaming me, but to myself, I was like, I feel fucked up leaving tech because there's already so few women here that like by leaving, I'm like doing a disservice to like so many others. And like, it's like fucked up for me to now go pursue a creative industry because I'm like not being there for like other people that are like looking for help that are also women, you know?
100%.
And it's like I said, it's like nobody was telling me that, but like I was just like beating myself up over it.
I feel that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like leaving tech, leaving like this career path I was on of either, I mean, I was all over the fucking place, but for a long time was working in marketing and like had this path of like, you know, I'll be a CMO someday, or like I'll be a head of marketing at like a big company. Like that was, you know, where I thought I would end up. And I felt like walking away from that, it was like, am I doing...
Well, you're ending up that way anyways, bitch.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that and
You're
more.
a marketing
yeah.
fucking guru.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
That's why I told you, I was like, please, I can't give you any money.
It's...
But I will take pictures of your butt whenever you want.
And I was like, say less, bestie.
What?
You know what's like so crazy? I really don't want to say it, but I was watching a TikTok.
This is Taylor, and I was watching a TikTok.
I was watching another TikTok. Are you surprised? And okay, this woman was like giving all these tips on like how to like exude confidence and power when you work in a male-dominated workplace. And she was like a lawyer or something, and she's saying like
The blonde girl?
yes,
I like
she's
her.
like, lift your chair up when you're at a table so that you're at the same height as them and you're not shorter than them. Like, don't ever apologize for being late. Like giving all of these tips. There's other stuff too, but those are the ones that I just
I liked a lot of
remembered.
them. Kind of like if someone's joking with you inappropriately, ask them why they think that's funny.
Yeah, ask
love
them
that
that
one.
stuff. But at the same time, a part of it made me really sad because it's like you're having to like so consciously like perform when you're at work so that you can be perceived as like good enough, smart enough, professional, like an equal to these men that you're working with.
Honestly, watching that did make me feel very sick. It made me feel like there's still so much work to be done. And like just how thankful I am that I don't have to work in a place like that. Like I get to
Yes.
just show up and be me the whole time.
Same. We're 100% ourselves. And like, I was doing that for a long time. Like, I feel like I really was in that
Like
like
you
performance
poor
mode.
little human.
Yeah.
It's so draining. Like,
Yeah.
because you're, not only are you like trying to do your job and like perform at your job, but you're also like performing this persona so that you can be taken seriously and like, you know, be perceived a certain way. So hopefully you'll advance in your career and you'll get raises and whatever. You'll get like the good projects and stuff. And it's like, it's so much fucking work. And like at the end of the day, you feel this like, you feel so disconnected from yourself because you're like not being yourself all
Yeah,
day
you're
long.
like, this is not me.
You're playing this role. And like, if that is you, like if you are someone who is like super like confident, outgoing, assertive, like great. But like that's not me. And so like playing that role was like so fucking
And I feel like you're
draining for me.
so confident and assertive. Like there's sometimes when we're put in situations and I just want to literally crawl into a hole and you're just like, this is what we're doing. X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, I'm like in the corner like,
Wow. Well, thank you.
I'm like, that's
I
hot.
don't feel like that's who I am. And so it's so funny. It's so funny, like the way we feel like we are versus how other people perceive us.
Like when you have to, like you do the do and you're just like, step aside, Sierra. I've done this before. And I'm like, say less, mommy.
I love that. Well, I think it's also like the situation too. Like, I don't feel like I am performing when I do that. You know, I'm like, I'm happy to problem solve for Naked Peach. You know, I'm happy to like try and figure out what we need to do or whatever, like use my experience. But like in those other situations, it was always like, okay, does he take me seriously? Does he
You
think
know
I'm
that
stupid
everybody in
'cause
the
I'm wearing
room-
lipstick today? Like,
Yeah.
And you know everybody in the room always takes you seriously.
Yeah, I know I don't have to like convince you guys to listen to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Throughout like I don't know, like
Oh
throughout
my
my
God.
time working in like I guess more corporate jobs, even startups, whatever. It like the longer I worked in them, the more I realized like how much or like what you can do, like how smart you are, whatever, like your actual work obviously is important and like you do need to be smart and good at your job, but how other people perceive you on your team and how much like your bosses stick up for you and how much like other people's perception of you is weighted a lot heavier at times. And it's like you can be great, but you can get so fucked over in your career if you haven't made the right connections at the company, if you like aren't befriending the right people, if you're not like
It can make or break your career, I feel like.
So I obviously have not been in tech, but I've watched my husband be in tech. And the only thing I have to say is just from overhearing, being like a part of his journey, of how I feel like not that much work gets done because everybody's playing fucking chess.
yes.
And it's
Yes,
so
it's like Game of
calculated
Thrones.
and everyone is just so fucking annoying. that like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. I feel like his job now is really, really good, but like previous jobs were just like, I'm just like, why is this worth it to you? Like, why? And that's why even recently now he's like, I don't even fucking care anymore. Because he's like, it's so toxic and it's just so stupid. And I'm like, I'd be out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like tech keeps you because of the money, right? And
Yeah.
like, it's like scary to leave that money. But
I know. I'm like,
It's
how did
like-
I get you guys? I'm like,
that's the thing, though. It's like
We'd had enough. We were fucking done.
over
Like,
it. And like, I genuinely believe that like, I believe in this business. I believe in this company. I believe in what we're doing. I believe that like in the long run, like we will be making more money than we were making in tech and like whatever.
Should I
But
let him in?
yeah, let Gosha. Gosha's banging against the door again. I keep seeing his little white paws underneath the door.
I will not pet him.
Okay, but with tech, we had enough.
I
That's what
know.
we
And
were
I
on,
literally
right?
was like, oh, Taylor, like, want to come join? She's like, yeah, like, no questions asked. And then same with you. You shot with me one day. And I was like, you want to come? You're like, I do.
I do.
I do.
Well, I remember when you were talking about asking Anna too, you were nervous. Like you were like, not sure if she was going to want to do it. And in my mind, I was like, of course she's going to say yes. Like, how could anybody say no to this? Like, this is the best job
Yeah.
ever, you know?
I was really
core
nervous.
memory. I don't even know if I've told you about this, but so, okay, for people that don't know, Taylor and I, like, were both in tech, and at one point we had a meeting together because of Oscar, Sierra's husband. He had connected us, and it was about, like, the stuff I had been working on was very similar to the startup she was working on with, like, these, like, investment accounts for kids, and so we just had a meeting where we were, like, knowledge sharing, basically, and that was the first time we met.
Yeah.
And then after that, we were, like, following each other on LinkedIn. And I remember when you like announced on LinkedIn that you weren't doing that anymore and like that company was like closing down. I had reached out to you and I sent you a message about like, it was something about like what are you doing next? Or like, I was just like curious about where you were going to go.
And I probably didn't respond to you for 2 weeks because I was an
Well, I mean, I
asshole.
think that's
No,
protocol
no.
on LinkedIn.
No, it was something because I just remember that meeting when we first met. I was like, oh, like Taylor seems so cool. And like, you're another woman in tech. And I was like, I never see women in tech. It's like every time I saw a woman in tech, I was like, oh, who's this person? Like,
Yeah.
let's be friends, you know? But like, you had basically, you were saying something about how you're like, I don't know if I'm going to do this anymore. Like, I'm actually kind of talking to Sierra and I'm doing some marketing stuff for her right now. Is like kind of what you had said. And I just remember at that point being like, damn, like, it's like, I'm like so bummed because I was just like excited to like have another person in the industry. Like maybe like wherever she goes, like maybe I can go there next or whatever. And then it's really come full circle. Like,
But that happened, though. You
I
went
know.
where she went.
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
I love that.
You're going to start a revolution?
Yeah, right? So
That's
nuts.
so cool. I do remember, I mean, it's so funny. I remember both, like, meeting both of you guys. And I remember, this is Taylor. When I met Anna, I remember just being like, she's so cool and she
Bro,
seems so confident.
I have thought
and, like,
Anna is the coolest, scariest person my whole life.
Anna's so nice, though. Like, she's not
Well, now that
scary
I know
at
her.
all once you get to know her.
But I literally was like, she's so fucking smart. I'm like, the way she dresses, she's like a Vogue model. I'm like, would never want to talk to me. I have nothing interesting to like say to her that would ever
God.
she
Oh
would
my
never
God.
be interested in little old me.
No.
You gotta shoot your shot always because you never know what other people are thinking about you when you're selling yourself short like that. I feel
know.
like that's just like such a good example of that, you know? Like, but I mean, I was like, she's so cool. Like, she's so accomplished in tech. Like, and she just seems like, I felt like one thing I really struggled with in tech. I mean, you guys know I'm just a glass half empty girl. I'm like, I have depression. I always am struggling with my bad attitude. I'm always trying to like, you know, look on the bright side. And I feel like in tech, it was way worse for me than it is now. Like I was always struggling. And like, you just seemed like so like you just seemed like more
You had
grounded than I
everything
felt,
together.
You know? And
I'm like, look at
just
this
really
salad
admired that
eating
about
hoe.
you.
Thank you. I will say though, like, okay, like I might go into some like, cause I have like crazy tech stories.
Yeah.
Obviously can't tell all of them cause like I have
We don't have
signed
7
NDAs.
days.
NDAs.
Yeah, NDAs. I'm like really scared of the tech giants. Okay, but like, but I will say on the positive, like Joelle, Oscar, and Randy, like Oscar being Sierra's husband, are like the three people who like I owe so much of my career to. And I don't mean that in a way of like diminishing myself of like I couldn't have done it or like I'm not smart or like whatever, but I just mean it in a way of like being surrounded by them. Like they like helped me, they bet on me, they like gave me projects that like helped push me and like helped mentor me and helped get me raises and helped get me like new jobs, you know. And I'm so thankful because I would not have been able to get where I got had I not been surrounded by them. And I think being surrounded by them is really what kept me so positive in tech, because there were so many other people like just outside of them that I would literally have my one-on-ones with Oscar, and I'd be going off all day about this person did this and that person did that. And like, this person is like not even letting us change a color to blue and like making us have 12 meetings to do it. And, you know, it's like crazy, crazy stuff. But like, thankfully those people didn't manage me, you know? And that's not everybody's story, which is like so fucked up, because when those people like aren't your direct supervisors and aren't like directly helping you, like no wonder women leave tech after like 5 years. It's like women leave, not all, but a lot of them exit.
Even like talking to Oscar, he would be like, I don't understand why people are so against women being in tech. He goes, because they work harder and they're smarter. Like, he's literally like, they are the better half. So it's like, he's like, that's why he was always like trying to hire on women and just
Oscar is an angel. Like, I love Oscar so much. Like, Oscar needs to be everybody's boss. He's just so like, dude, I don't know. Like, people would just be so much better in tech if Oscar was their boss always. Like, everyone just needs to like work with him, because
I think that makes such a big difference, like who your boss is. Like, having a boss that really like supports you and is your cheerleader. And like, I had a similar experience where I worked at a company where I had like a really good boss who like really invested a lot of time in like mentoring me and like gave me a lot of like knowledge and really tried to give me opportunities and things like that. And then I also had like a male counterpart who like, he and I kind of worked hand in hand, and like he always was like, we were just like very much a team, and I always really felt like he was on my side and he never saw me differently because I was a woman or anything like that. And like, having those two people like made the experience very different from like other experiences that I had later, you know, where I was dealing with like a different type of man in tech.
That's how I feel about that.
Well, it's crazy because I still remember like when I first started managing a team, and I was still reporting to Oscar, and he managed me, and then I managed part of the team, and so that like directed or reported up through him, and then he managed the other part of the team. But a lot of times we were helping each other a lot with like managing the broader team, because we were in the smaller office and like headquarters was in a different office.
It's funny hearing this because I remember all of that.
Yeah.
Because
you were on the other side, yeah. But like, I just remember like very vividly my very first promotion cycle, where we were like in these meetings where people are talking about who needs to get promoted from the different teams, and it's all the managers are in there, and it's like, if you do not come prepared to that meeting, and if you don't come with like all the reasons why somebody should get promoted and like all the proof, I guess, of like stuff that they've done throughout the year. Yeah. If you don't come with the receipts, your person's not getting promoted. And so it's like, I just remember sitting in this meeting and watching like people that like are very deserving and kicked ass all year, but like they didn't get promoted because their manager just didn't
show up for them.
Didn't put in enough work.
Like, you know, barely did anything. And I just remember, like, first, that process is so fucked up. Like, nobody should ever be, like, promoted or not promoted because of, like, that one meeting.
It seems like a fucking gauntlet.
It was. And it was, like, you know, it was...
Everybody deserves a fucking raise. Like, let's go, bitch. Promotions, raises, let's go. If they're doing the work, let's...
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of issues with that process in general, but it's, like, but at the end of the day, like, if your manager didn't come prepared, you weren't going to get promoted. And it's, like... that's what I'm saying. It's like, it all just goes down to your team and who you're reporting to. Cause like,
who's guiding you and holding your hand and making sure that you're taken care of.
Yeah.
Which your manager should always be doing.
Yeah.
They're your advocate.
Yeah. If your manager isn't doing that, look for a new job and like pay attention to the fucking manager of the team.
Yeah. Manage your manager. Manage us.
Yes. Don't be a Susan. Oh if anybody watches those TikToks.
No, what is that?
Are you kidding me? You guys don't watch Veronica and like her series on like quiet quitting and stuff like that?
No. Wait, this is Sierra now.
It's on TikTok. Oh, hell no.
Why is this on your For You page? Explain yourself.
I don't know why it's on there, but I love to watch it because I'm like, hell yeah, let's kick this Susan's ass.
What are these videos?
I'll have to send them. It's just this girl named Veronica, and she works at like work, and then she has like her manager or boss named Susan. She'll like come up and be like, all right, like I need you to stay like an hour after work, and then she's like, are you paying me? And then she's like, Susan, I'm leaving, and like just leaves. Like it's awesome.
I will post it in the story this week.
We'll post it in the story. Okay, I want to go back to something I was saying because I was like, I mentioned when I met Anna and like what I thought, but I want to say also what I thought when I met Sierra.
I'm terrified because when I met you, I literally faked that my video didn't work because I was like, I cannot see this bitch face to face because I am a phony baloney.
It's so crazy because when I met
I was
Sarah,
it's like, hey, Taylor.
she's shaking right now.
Yeah.
I'm a businesswoman.
No, Sierra, when I met you, I was seriously like, this is so incredible that like this is her job and this is her career. Like I cannot imagine doing something cooler with my life. And like when I tell you like my whole life, I have like looked for a job I could do where it was like something that was like, I've always been passionate about empowering women and like I've been a feminist since I was in high school. Like this isn't like new to me, you know, and I always wanted to do something where like women would be the people who would be most impacted by my work. And I like, you know, thought that would be fashion magazines because that's what I saw on fucking movies. And then like I worked in a magazine for a while and I realized like it's not really that empowering. And
It's a little toxic.
yeah, and it's just about capitalism. It's just about telling women they need to spend more money.
Yeah.
And they don't have enough and they need to spend more. And that's not empowering. And like then I, you know, thought, okay, like maybe I need to work at like a clothing company or like one of these companies, these startups that's doing like, you know, ice packs for your vagina after you give birth or something like that where it's like helping, but it just I never really found the thing where I was like, this really makes my heart sing, for like lack of a less fucking corny term.
Yeah.
And then I met you and I was talking to you about Boudoir and you were telling me about like why it was like so powerful to you and like why you wanted to do it, and I was just like, this is it, like this is the fucking coolest thing ever, like I wish I could do something like this. And I just was like so impressed. And like and then when you asked me like a few months later to be your business partner, it was like in my mind I was immediately like yes. And I was like, obviously I have to think about it because it would be crazy if I didn't.
Honestly,
But
I didn't even know the
it
difference.
was a yes immediately.
If you were like yes, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. No, I was so impressed with what you were doing too. When you reached out to me and you asked me to come be a second shooter, I was like, what? I was living in Palm Springs at the time, you guys, and I didn't tell anyone in my family I was coming back up to Portland to shoot with you. Drove my ass from Palm Springs to Portland for the week to shoot.
Wait, I didn't know that you drove for that trip.
I drove up because I didn't have any planned trips to come back up here, but Sierra was like, oh, you want to shoot? And I was like, yeah, I should be up there in April.
Oh my God, did you make that up?
I literally just came to shoot with you guys.
I thought you came up to cut, like, as you were, like, visiting family.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, oh my God, she's going to be here. Perfect timing. I was like, oh my God, Taylor, we get to ask her to do the second shoot with us.
You guys, this is so funny. Like, the way we've all, like,
Everything's a lie.
we're like, we can be our true selves at work. And at the beginning, we're all secretly like, I'm so scared of her. Like, it's so funny.
I literally wasn't planning on being back until May, but then I was like, no, May's too late. I was like, I missed this ship. I'll never join. I'm like, I have to drive up in April. I was like, yeah, but I'm taking the car and driving to Portland. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And on the way
You're like,
back,
well, I'm going to be a photographer. Bye.
I'll just start my new life. Bye.
May or may not be back for you.
I remember the first day I came to the studio, I was like, because I drove downtown and like, I don't want anyone to see I'm here. And I had like everyone was wearing masks, which was helpful. It was like during COVID, but I had like my mask and I had my really big sunglasses on, and my hair, I like had pulled it kind of like over my face, and I wore like this really big coat. And I was like walking around downtown Portland like.
Because my friends are going to disown me.
Incognito mode.
I should have thought you were up there like with Gavin, visiting
Yes.
family. I gotta find this message now because I had
know.
to post it of you being like, yeah, I'm gonna be up in April. And then they whoa!
That's incredible. I love that so much.
Wow.
On the way back, I did the drive in one
In one go.
from Portland to
Wow, you
Palm
are so
Springs.
energized.
Yeah,
you
I was hyped.
You're like, I got so much shit to tell
Yeah.
Gavin.
I was like, I have to edit. I have to go back.
Oh my God, those pictures from our first shoot.
Honestly, when I go back and then the ones you did, Anna, were so crispy.
They were. I think I used like high pass on like probably like 80%, 90%.
We need to ask Julia if we can post those pics as examples of our first shoot, because I
It's so
literally
funny.
made her look like a video game character. With like how much skin smoothing I did, like it's so scary looking. And the fact that she was so nice when we gave her the
So
pictures,
nice.
she's an angel for that.
Honestly,
my
though, I
God.
look back, those are still some of my favorite pictures I've taken.
Wow.
Well,
a good shoot for
she
me.
was very nice when she saw mine and yours, but when she saw yours and she's like, wow, Sierra's photos are really good.
It was like your guys' first time.
We didn't know what we were doing.
Let's be nice. And they, still for first timers, those are great. I've seen some shit out there.
I mean, you have an eye for finding good photographers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of at the point, I'm like, maybe everybody's teachable. But then I don't know, though. Because I really have, like, I feel like every person that I've asked to come shoot, like, I've been called.
Yeah.
To that, you know? And then with, like, Taylor, I was like, shit, if I'm teaching Anna. Might as well.
Learn. Yeah.
No, I think it's perfect that we did it together. I think it was so helpful.
It was so nice to be in, like, photography school together, basically, and, like, go on that journey
summer
together.
boot camp.
Yeah.
That summer was fucking insane for me.
It was.
Yeah.
It was
Last
crazy.
summer, Sierra was doing 12 shoots a month, which is a lot for any photographer.
Yeah. Shooting and editing.
Yeah, and then Anna and I were on basically every day that the studio was free trying to get one of our friends in there to model for us, and we were
Shout out to all you girlies who didn't let us share your photos. Because they were so fucking fire.
There was some really
You
good
know who
ones.
you are.
R.I.P. And we were also assisting Sierra at every one of her shoots.
Sierra's shoots, and we were just like, we were in the studio every day. We were living and breathing Boudoir, and like, I mean, that it worked. Like by the end of the summer, we were ready to start taking clients and like doing our own
For
shoots.
real, and I didn't really have to do much. I was like, all right, there you go. Bye. Have fun.
You helped a lot more than you think you helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I did. I feel like I'm very less helpful to poor Amanda. Luckily, she's very good, so.
She's also really good at like advocating for herself and asking questions, I feel, even though she doesn't want to do our one-on-ones. That was so funny.
But no, she's great. Like, especially like she'll send me her pictures to revise and immediately is like, what needs to be worked on?
Yeah.
What did you change? Please tell me. And I'm like, I don't know, I just fucked around with them a bit.
And that, I feel like that attitude, like I really had a hard time with that when I was learning photography. Like I was very like sensitive and like felt like it's that perfectionist.
You did have some
like,
sensitive moments, and
I
I was like,
time.
oh my god, I just want to hug you. I'm like, Taylor, I'm like, you're fine.
Yeah, like comparing myself to your photos when like you've been a photographer for so long. I've literally been doing it for 2 months, and I'm like, mine are so much worse. Like, what's wrong with me? And it's like just like really struggling.
I remember having a moment where I was like, Taylor, I've been doing this for a long time.
You did. You had to kind of like have a come to Jesus with me, where you were like, look, my photos are supposed to be better than yours. It would be weird.
And I don't mean that in a mean way. I don't mean that in a mean way.
It's true. Like,
no, it's like now I can like laugh
I was like,
about
girl,
it,
you've been doing this for 37 days.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna...
We're like, we did 4 practice shoots. Okay, we know what we're doing.
I was like, Taylor's gonna take a minute. But now look, just as good as mine. So
I mean, I don't know.
I think so.
One thing that was really cool about going through that process, though, is I feel like I really believe that I can learn how to do anything if I set my mind to it now.
It's true, but you just have to really like want to learn it, like,
and have a good mentor, someone with, you know, experience and skill who's willing to teach you,
and also someone to let you guys know too that like I have all the same struggles. I still like even at the conference we just went to, I fucking had a crisis. I was like, damn, I'm a piece of shit. My work sucks ass. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
And it doesn't. Like, your work is so beautiful.
Yeah, had to come down to earth. I was like, chill out. I'm like, these people have been shooting for like fucking 40 years. Like, you need to chill out.
Yeah.
Like, same thing.
Yeah,
It's imposter syndrome.
yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's so interesting to like be a part of like a crowd like that because everybody's on their own journey. There's like these master fucking portrait photographers and there's people who are just starting. So it's like so hard to be like so inspired, but then be like, oh my God, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah. It's so, I feel like it's such a fine line in photography with like being inspired versus comparing yourself.
It's so hard because like you see someone's working, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I could never do that.
Yeah. It's so easy to go from one thought to the other.
Yeah. Because they have to think about like, what is it going to take me to get to that? And like, shit, I'm going to have to do this for another 20 years to get to that point.
Okay, so speaking of Sierra, I feel like you should talk a little bit about your journey from like being a stay-at-home mom.
My journey is
to
so
becoming
boring.
A photographer.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's totally not. I mean,
We just told you
how
we were
many
so
people
inspired
do
by
we
you.
know who were stay-at-home moms for so long and then started a business and became successful within 2 years. Like,
And the way you hustled your own network,
Yeah.
I could never. I'm like so like embarrassed.
What do you mean by that?
Just even like when you opened up like your VIP Facebook group at just the very beginning, and I think I was like one of the first people you invited, just because I'm assuming you just invited all your contacts on Facebook.
Oh, dude, everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, invite all my friends.
Yeah, and so I've been like in that group from the beginning, but it's just like day one, you just started it, you invited everybody, and then you're like,
it's so funny too because I
and
literally signed a lease like for my studio and then like started my Facebook group and I was like, hope this works out.
see, but that's
so
crazy.
important. Like,
so
you
many
have
people
to
would
have,
never.
like, you have to have balls like that. And
But
not
I
balls.
have to shout out, I had so many people in my corner who like I invited them to my group and then they immediately invited everyone on their friends list.
Yeah.
So it's like within the first week, I had like 1,000 members in my group, which is like unheard of. Like there's a lot of other photographers who, you know, will have like 100 people in their group for like 6 months.
Yeah.
So I really feel like because I had all these friends that like really hyped me up and really liked my work, like honestly, shout out to them. Like could not have done it without them to build my community so quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, guess what I'm supposed to do then? Like it felt like a sign.
Totally.
Like,
But that's also crazy. It was the middle of COVID, and you signed a lease.
yeah, I was
like
so done being a stay-at-home mom. I had it. I had it up to,
How many years had you been a stay-at-home mom?
at that point, about 10 years.
Wow.
Because I also was like a stay-at-home girlfriend who was pregnant. Because I was like,
I love that for you.
I'm not going to get a job. Like, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom anyway, so.
Honestly, after doing Naked Peach, I have had the thought that, like, if I were still working in tech and I got pregnant, I would want to be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, yeah,
now
you
that I
would.
know what it's like to not
Yes.
be in that shit, you know? If I
Yes.
didn't have a career that I really loved like I do now, why would I work?
Exactly.
I didn't have to.
And that's how I was too. So, like, a bit of my journey is I've never had a real job. And people are like, oh, so privileged. But, I mean, I tried to get a job. And I never was able to get one because I never got a call back. And then in high school, I just, like, did people's senior portraits for, like, for money. Like, that's how I made my money. But then I got kicked out at 17, started dating Oscar, and then got pregnant. And I found out I was pregnant like a week before I turned 18. So then at that point I was like, what am I going to do? Like work at Taco Bell? Not to shame anybody who does, but it's like, I was like, I'm not going to be able to have a career. Like we already decided that if we were going to have kids and this was planned. Like, so people are like, it was planned and we had already decided if we were going to have kids, I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. So I was like, why would I ever go work at Blockbuster?
Yeah. Well, and
like,
if you're at that age, you don't have job experience. Like, what's the
yeah,
you're
who's
making
gonna
minimum
hire
wage,
me?
and
Yeah.
then you're paying
Yeah.
for childcare. Like, it's probably gonna
you're
even
both
out.
making minimum
So
wage.
if you
Like
don't have a
childcare.
exactly
big aspiration, then
Yeah,
what's
so
the-
what I just did was I stayed at home and learned how to cook because I did not know how to cook and clean the fucking house. It's what I did as a stay-at-home pregnant girlfriend. Well, actually, no, I was married. I got married like
stay-at-home wife.
stay-at-home wife 2 weeks after I got pregnant. Glad things worked out. And then it wasn't for like another 5 or 6 years that I literally did not touch my camera because I was like, I just didn't have time. We moved to San Francisco. I had another kid. We moved back, like, and then I just felt like, oh my God, I will never make money. Like shooting, like doing $250 sessions. Like you can't make money off doing that. You literally
can't support yourself.
You cannot support yourself. So it just didn't feel worth it to me at all. But then I just had some girlfriends and I was like, let's do some boudoir. This like looks so cool, so fun.
And that was your first time doing boudoir. Like you hadn't done it before then.
No, I had not done anything. And this, I think, was like 2015.
Yeah.
And like I had tried to get clients. I did not get one single paying client. But I still had an Airbnb. So I just had all my friends come. I took so many photos. And honestly, looking back, I was like, those are pretty good. Like for the time in the year, like it was very on brand with like the light and airy. And they
They look very Pinteresty. Like I've
Yeah.
seen them. Yeah, they're cute.
I look back and I was like, yeah. But ever since I did that, I was like, that's what I want to do. And then it wasn't until I think it must have been 2018 or 19 that I joined a group just for boudoir photographers. And I saw all these amazing boudoir photographers making money to actually live and survive, you know? And, you know, so then I was like, oh, I can do that. But then I got pregnant and I was like, fuck, like the bitch is tired. So I didn't do anything until like he was like a year old. And then COVID hit 1 month after I opened up my boudoir studio in my house. So say bye to that. And then finally, like, 'cause that was like what, March? It was
March,
beginning of March.
2020.
Yeah, and I had opened it in January. Went on vacation, came back, everything was shut down. So and then it wasn't until that August that I was like, I can't pop my pussy in these conditions. These kids are going to kill me. Like, all I want to do is shoot fucking ass and titties and empower these baby girlies out here in these streets. So that's what I did. And then I got my studio because I'm like, I can't have people in my house because I have kids and COVID. And also, like, keeping my house clean with 4 kids who are all home because of COVID and doing school. I was like, no. So I got my studio, and then it's just been...
We just keep growing.
We just keep growing ever since that moment. But I also did come to the realization that I couldn't do it on my own. And that's why I asked you. I was like, you're going to have to join forces with me. There's no option. And that is, I guess, my journey.
Wow.
See, why do you think that's a boring story?
Yeah, it's like such a cool story.
I don't know, because I just feel like, I guess being a stay-at-home mom for so long and not feeling like I was like, yeah, like when I would ever go to like Oscar's like work events, nobody ever talked to me. Because I had nothing to talk about. My whole identity was my children. Yeah. So it just felt so boring up until I started my business. And then now when I tell people my story, they're like, oh my God. And I'm just like, what?
But you feel like the first 10 years is like boring.
Yeah, because I gave my whole life to my children. You know? But I am happy now that I have something for me that makes me so fucking happy that I love to do. Because I really lost myself there for a while, especially with children. It's very easy to do. They just suck and suck and suck all that energy. But then I go and get my energy back at work, and then I come home and I can be nice.
It's always so interesting to me because we work with so many moms. I mean, almost everyone on our team is a mom except for like a handful of us. And it's always so interesting to me because I hear, you're not the only one who says that like your work is your me time. And I feel like I have work time, me time, husband time, friend time. Like, you know, I have all these different types of things.
Be prepared. Because I feel like I barely have any friend time. I barely see my friends. Like my work time is my friend time. It's you guys. Sorry, my friends.
Obviously you're our friend.
But like I barely see my other friends outside because like I'm tending to my kids. Like they take up all my fucking time and I still feel like I'm not meeting their needs. So yeah.
I mean, I guess that's why it's so cool to have a job like this where it is fun every day at work and we are all friends. Like truly we're friends. And our clients are like, we meet new friends every day when our clients come into the studio. It's like so different than going into like an office where you're like, you know, you're trying to like make sure Susan doesn't like catch you and ask you to stay late. And like, you're trying to like present as professional to Brian over here who's judging you because he thinks you're dumb. And it's so different, you know, like obviously it's much more fulfilling. You just get to show
up and do what you're there to do. And you get so much more work done when there's nothing else in your way. Except for like going out to eat.
Well, and a lot of our clients too that are moms like talk about that me time a lot too, especially when they're at their session and they like sit down in the chair, they start to get their makeup done and they're like, I haven't just like sat down and like gotten pampered in, some of them are like in 10 years and 15 years and like, you know.
It's because like, moms are always putting themselves last. Always. I fucking still do that shit. I still like, you know, I'll cancel an appointment to make sure my kids get to a certain appointment. Like they always come first no matter what. I haven't had a pap smear in like 2 years.
Go.
I really need to go. I know.
Yeah, go. It's important. It's healthcare. You need to go.
I moved, so I need to find someone where I live now.
Well, clearly we need to do an episode about talking about finding me time and self-care.
I was going to say pap smears.
Yeah. Pap smears. You guys want to teach me? Because I don't know how. I mean, I read at night, but I read nestled between my kids as they fall asleep.
That's just a whole different life.
It's my me time. I didn't realize when you had 4 kids. Wow.
Do you ever have like silence?
Rarely. Like it's like late at night, but then that's usually when I want to go to sleep, and it sucks because it's like if I want to stay up late to have me time, then I'm gonna pay for it in the morning. It's just the way it is. It's always like you have to give something to get something.
Yeah. This episode took a dark turn.
I
did. But now I take pictures of butts and I'm super duper happy.
I feel like we really got into our journeys of like photography and boudoir and naked peach and discovering how afraid of each other we all were.
That is so funny to me. But yeah, I've been terrified of y'all. I mean, not now, but like then.
You better not be anymore.
But yeah, I was very terrified of
Sometimes
these women.
I'm scared of Amanda. Her energy.
I know, I'm like, I thought I was nuts. And she just comes in there and I'm like, she owns Naked Peach now.
Yeah.
When she was commanding the crowd, talking to everybody at the
Oh my god,
wedding
that
expo.
was incredible to watch.
I was
so proud of her.
That was like me last year, but this year I was just kind of like sitting in the back, like refilling up like bags. And like, I was like, all right, Amanda. And I'm kind of like, you guys filling out the form? Like, I felt like more like a mama hen because Amanda's like, so... Have you ever had the boudoir session?
She was born to do this.
Yeah,
Born.
she's incredible.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
We're going to have her as a guest.
Oh, yeah.
We do. We
We
definitely
absolutely do.
We
Her
don't
and
even have to
Auntie.
talk. We'll just put her on here and she'll just talk for the whole hour and then we can just...
Amanda's our favorite. But yeah, I was so terrified of you guys. Because I'm like, you guys are so established. And at that point, you guys didn't have kids and you were like career women. And I was just like, I am not a single grain of rice in the world compared to these people.
You know what's interesting though is all of my like friends or acquaintances or whatever who I talk to and they're all like, oh my god, your job is so cool. Like it looks like you're so happy. You're following your passion. They're like, you know, like I wish I could do that or I would do that.
But
or
you
like,
can.
Yeah, but it's like, but then people like they don't want to leave like stable jobs or they don't want to leave certain industries or like, which I get, you know, and it's like
Yeah.
it's scary. It's not like it's like super easy.
But it's like, I don't know,
But-
every single person that has made a risk like this, and that's with like friends like, I don't know, becoming realtors or like going in on their pottery business, they've never regretted it. It is a lot of work, but it's so fulfilling.
Yeah, and
It
you
is.
have to take risks and make big sacrifices to do something like this. Like,
yeah.
it's never going to be like this smooth transition where
Never.
you're like building your business while you're working your 9 to 5 and then all of a sudden you're making enough at your business to quit your 9 to 5 and it's exactly the same. Like, you have to take the leap at some point.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, before I was doing Naked Peach, I had quit my job at a startup where I was making good money and decided to start my own startup and was the CEO of that and did fucking pitch after pitch to investors every goddamn day. I was in pitch meetings pitching these investors, these tech bros who like just eyes glazed over when I started talking because I was a woman and they couldn't take me seriously. And, you know, trying to like perform masculinity and aggression and this like persona that investors want to see in a tech person that isn't me. And doing that and really, really putting my all into it. And I failed. Like, it didn't work out. I couldn't get investors. And it got to a point where I was like so burned out and I was like, I can't keep doing this. I have to shut it down. And like, I didn't know what I was going to do next. I thought I would probably go back to what I was doing before and like be like, you know, a marketing director or something for like another tech company or a finance company. And, you know, it sucked, but it was like, I didn't regret doing it. Like, I got a lot of really good experience. I made all these connections. And then when I made that choice and I made it public, that's when people started asking me, like, I got so many people asking me, like, what are you doing next? Do you want to meet this person? I have an idea for you. That's when Sierra messaged me. And so,
And
like,
there was little old me.
it's because of that choice that I made to make that risk and start the startup, and all of those things led to me meeting you, because I wouldn't have met Oscar if I hadn't done that. And Oscar's the one who connected us. And like, you know, it just, I feel like it was like such a winding path to get there, but it was like ended up being so worth it, because it was like, you know, he wouldn't have introduced me to you probably, or you probably wouldn't have asked me to be your business partner if like you didn't know that I was somebody who was willing to take a risk and start a business and not get paid, and like, you know, like had put myself out there in that way. Like, you knew that I was not just somebody working a 9 to 5 where you're asking me to like sacrifice.
I mean,
this
I was a little
really
scared. I was like,
stable
she probably ain't
thing.
gonna do it. But then Oscar was like, this is the time. She doesn't know what she's doing next. You gotta ask her now. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I still have the note on
Really?
my computer of me
my
writing
God.
up what
You
I
should
was
post that
gonna.
on the story.
You should frame it, put it in the office in the studio.
What I like was right to, and I was literally shaking when I had that call because I'm like, she's never gonna say yes, but I gotta shoot my shot.
And that's the thing, you have to shoot your shot. Like,
It's
you
terrifying.
never know. And like, you also have to put yourself out there. Like, when I shut my startup down, I was so fucking embarrassed, but I made this video talking about why I was shutting it down, and I posted it on all my social media platforms, because I was like, I want people to know that like I did everything I could, I gave it my all, and it's just not the time. It's not right for right now. And like, I need to just like put it out there. I don't want to just like disappear and have people wonder what happened. And like, by putting myself out there, I got all these people who, they weren't like, oh, she's a failure. They were like, oh, she's available for something else now,
Yeah.
you know?
That's
And,
literally
like,
when I reached out to you. I
Well, I
was
mean,
like,
that's why
so cool.
Oscar was like, you got to reach out now. Like, because he
Yeah.
probably saw that video and was like, because he even said, he was like, you know, I'm going to see how this goes with Taylor. He's like, but man, it'd be so awesome if she worked with you. Mm-hmm. And he's the one who kind of like
planted the seed.
he did.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking little sneaky magician like that.
Well,
He's
clearly
so
he has
good.
an eye for talent.
He does.
He's good at playing that chess, dude. He
He's
plays that
so
chess all day
good.
long. That fucking business
Yeah, and that's why
chess.
he was like, you got to ask her. And I was like, no, she would never. And he's like, if you don't fucking ask. Because I like that December, I was having like a mental breakdown because I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not making enough money to have childcare. And I'm not able to work all this time because like I have the kids at home, like doing fucking distance learning. And I had a 1-year-old. What was he, one? He was a little bit. It was like 1.5. Yeah. Oh, it was that December. So yeah, I just had turned 2. Esme was 4. So I was not well. And like, I didn't have any help. And I was like, I was kind of like, am I going to have to stop doing this? Am I going to have to shut this down? But then Taylor was like, oh, fairy godmother, I will come and do this for free.
It was meant to be.
And I was like, thank God
The
someone
stars
wants to do
aligned.
this for free with me.
Well, and going back to like literally what you were just saying about like leaping, it's that, I know it's so cheesy, but it's that saying about how like if you do something like that, it's like you're betting on yourself versus if you like go do something else, you're just like betting on the other people that you work with or like,
Betting
you know,
on
this
the
company or like
yeah.
whatever.
But it was so amazing because in such like, and it felt like a long time, but in such a short period of time, we chose our new name. By March, we were fully booked through August. Like, so from like December to March, that's such a short period of time, even though like from us picking our new name and actually implementing it, doing our website felt like such a long time. But when I look back, I'm like, damn,
We did it pretty
we
fast.
busted our assholes. And while you were learning how to shoot yourself and edit, teaching Anna, being fully booked.
You were literally doing 12 shoots a month while all that was going on. And then by the end of the year, like literally a year later, we moved into our new studio. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, and
was
we had
crazy.
started our new studio.
Well, okay, so as we were packing the bags for the bridal show this last weekend, Taylor and I were talking about like just the last year from like the last bridal show to this bridal show. And it's like so much has changed in the company, so much like growth, so many more clients, so many like
We've
amazing
doubled
women we've
everything.
met.
Every 6 months, we about double everything. How much money we make, how much clients we have, how much followers we have on social
how many
media.
people we have on our team.
Yeah, for real. We keep like just adding more and growing more. And it's been so great.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's like the feeling I had when I was doing my startup of like, just like I was like walking through quicksand or like mud or something, just like trudging, trying to make someone care versus this where it's like, it feels so right. You know, it's like, it feels so aligned with like who we are and what we like to do. And then like the way people respond, it's just like, it just makes so much sense, you know?
It is. And like we keep doing what we love. We make videos that we like to make. We get to hang out with each other. We get to eat good food. We get brought the clients that want to come and hang out with us. That's all I care about, okay?
We do have really good team dinners. The good food is very important.
That's all I think about. Team dinners is where it's at. Like that keeps me going.
I mean, and these are like, if you start your own business, like you get to create that. You get to create the culture from the beginning of what it's like, who you work with, like what the environment is like every day, you know, and you get to choose everything intentionally for yourself.
It's
and like,
so
it's
nice.
so like, even though it's really scary and even though it sucks to not get paid at the beginning, it's like so worth it to have all of that
It's
back in return.
And like your mental health, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was unwell. By the time I was done with tech, I was like, tech has fucking, I was like, I feel like it's like a semi truck and it has just like run me over like 700 times and I am not okay. And like, I don't know, just, I feel like the kind of work stress we get, cause obviously like we're stressed out with our jobs too, but it's like, it's different. It's like, it's stress where I'm like, I want to make this better. I want to like better our business. I want to work on this. I'm like excited to fix a problem if there's something going on that's stressing me out, and I'm not like feeling so worn out that I'm like defeated.
And I'm also happy that we have this space to be women. Like if my kids are sick, I don't have to like, you know, go drop them off at daycare, like coughing, hacking, puking. Like I can take care of them if I'm like, hey, like I'm not gonna be able to come in. Like there's that flexibility, and it's actually being like treated like I'm not a piece of shit because All 4 of my kids are sick right now.
Yeah.
Nobody has to lie when they're going to get their hair done on a
Oh,
Wednesday.
I love that. Oscar was like, I cannot relate to that. He's like, you're going to get your hair done literally like 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. And I'm like, yeah, I got to be hot to work.
Yeah.
I make content videos or like just doing all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, when else would I do it? I don't know that many hairstylists. Even like most of the hairstylists I know aren't even open on weekends, you know, because they also want to work a 9 to 5 or like at night. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to get my hair done every 8 weeks, every 2 months, one day, like whoopty fucking do, you know?
Yeah.
But even like Oscar, he'll just be like, whoa, like, wow. Like, because
Wow,
he can't
crazy.
relate to that.
Yeah.
And it's also nice too, like, even like when Anji was like, oh, like, I know I just took a vacation, but like, can I go here? We're like, bye.
Yeah.
Like, we have it covered. And I also feel like that's with us too. Like, we schedule out our 6 months, but we don't really know our, you know, something might come up where it's like, oh, I want to go on this impromptu trip. And we're like, oh my God, go. We'll take this for you. We'll take that. It's so nice. Like, I really don't feel like other work environments have that flexibility or the fact that people want you to go on that trip and have a fun time. And like, bitch, don't get on Slack. Don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's more than just like, because most nights we're up editing anyway, you know, so it's not like we're
we
just
work
working
all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, just to be clear.
Yeah. All day today, and now we're podcasting, and like then, you know, and it's like this is sometimes I'm like forget that this podcasting is like part of our job, but it is like we like
It feels
podcast.
like we're just hanging out.
Yeah, but it's so it's like so if you're gonna go take a vacation, it's like cool, just like go relax, go recharge, go get your hair done, go get your nails done, and it's like
You deserve it, bye, bitch.
yeah,
Okay, I feel like, how long have we been talking?
a really long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
going to be a lot of editing for
Anna's
you.
going to
Yeah.
be
She's
snip,
gonna be,
snipping.
Yeah,
It's
you
gonna
got
be
to.
good. I think we should talk about our obsessions for the week.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
All right, do you want to go first?
I have 2.
Okay, of course you have 2. It wouldn't be a normal week if you didn't have 2.
You know me, indecisive girl.
Well, I was watching this TikTok. Just kidding.
Actually. Okay, one of them is related to TikTok and the other one isn't. So, today is October 20th, and what that means is that tomorrow is Taylor Swift's album release date, which means it's actually 9 p.m. tonight because we're on the West Coast.
Ooh.
So, 9 p.m. is when her album comes out. It's very soon. It's, you know, only 2.5 hours away. But one of my friends, I know this makes me a bad fan, but I'm just like, I was telling Anji earlier because she was like, look, I'm a good fan. I'm not going to listen to the leak. I'm going to support her and only listen to it when she posts it, when she releases it. But I just am not that way. I mean, I literally went through Colin's suitcase before we went on our vacation to Antigua because I was like, I bet the engagement ring is in there before we got engaged. I didn't find it. He hid it so well because he
Good
knows
thing.
me.
You naughty
Knows
little
that I'm not
girlie.
Where
type
did
of
he hide
bitch.
it?
It was in the lining of his suitcase.
Oh.
Smart.
He knows me.
You're sneaky.
if
Why
I-
are you trying to ruin your surprises?
It's like compulsion. I can't.
It's like
not.
it's like
Yeah.
the swallowing the gum.
Yeah, it's like swallowing gum. I have a gum swallowing problem for anybody who doesn't know. I can't
It
not
freaks me
swallow
out.
my gum. I can't spit out the gum. I have to swallow
I
it.
don't understand at all.
Feels good going down, I guess.
It just feels wrong. It feels like spitting out food or something. It's like it's just the natural next step is
To swallow it.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, this is taking a turn. I listened to the leak because I'm a monster and I couldn't not. And there are a couple songs that I'm just really obsessed with. So my obsession is the new Taylor Swift album, Midnights. Specifically the song Maroon. That was my favorite one. But we'll see when like the real album comes out because the leaks are always like a little bit different. Like it's always like a slightly shittier version of the music.
So
I
at
feel
9 p.m.
like.
tonight, are you just going to be like on repeat listening?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't talk to me at 9
Okay.
p.m. I will be listening to the album.
Get those color. Oh wait, no. Get the things cold and send them to me
Yeah.
while you listen to it.
I will.
So I can edit all day tomorrow, and then I can listen to it.
Yeah.
And we can talk about the album.
Yeah, we need to discuss. Everybody, we're going to be discussing tomorrow.
It's going to be great.
And then my other obsession is the show Tell Me Lies. I was telling everyone about this earlier today. It's such a good show. It's basically about a toxic relationship that starts kind of like in college, and it's set in the time that we were in college. So like 2007.
I mean, I was not there.
But like that age demographic.
I was a
you
dropout,
know?
a high school dropout.
It'll still be relatable though for like the time period.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's just like so many things. I mean, some of it is really college specific. Like there's certain things like they go to an anything but clothes party, and I'm just like, oh my god, it just takes me back, you know, to like those fucking parties where it's like pimps and hoes party.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Toga parties.
Yeah, where it's like literally the whole point of the party is for the girls to be wearing as little clothing as possible,
Yeah.
and we were all
then to
so
get fucked
into
up.
it, and then getting fucked up and having sex with these guys who sucked, and like it's just like it really just took me back to that time in my life. Even though I got sober pretty early on in college, so I wasn't doing that for like a huge amount of time, but it was very like.
Well, and it's
really
just around
relatable.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just like the toxic relationship part is so relatable because he is like such a fuckboy and she's such a pick-me, and they're like toxic together. And then they have really good sex scenes in the show. And then every time I watch, I'm like, okay, Colin, let's go.
What streaming service is this on?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Yes. So everybody go watch Tell Me Lies.
Did you think
Anna's
about
gonna
yours?
have to. I was gonna say
Oh,
Anna's
you-
gonna have to go. I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Ooh, I do have something to talk about. Okay, I'm reading the book called The Rose Code, and it takes place in World War II because I'm a timepiece hoe, and it's really good. I'm really upset because like I read half of the book in one night, which is crazy because it's like 600 pages.
Wow.
Because it was so good. But since all my kids have been sick and the smoke and my headaches and all that, I have not been able to read it for like almost a fucking week now. But I'm obsessed with it because I love period pieces. And it's about these girls who meet and they work in a really secret like division where they crack codes like from the German that are like sending it in so they can figure out like what the Germans' next moves are. And yeah, it's really good.
I love that.
Oh, and
women in STEM.
what I love about it too is because I also, watched a little bit of Crown, and
I love The Crown.
the main girly was like Philip's girlfriend. Like she was Philip's girlfriend like before he got married, like in like the early 30s, because I think they got married like in what 41 or 37, something later 30s,
Yeah.
or early 40s. So like it's interesting. So I'm like really obsessed with it.
Yeah. Philip was kind of a fuckboy.
He was. But I was like, he was charming as hell.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to add that to my TBR.
Okay, mine's also going to be a book.
Wow, book club.
Yeah, book club. I love this. Okay, so my book, this is kind of full circle right now because one of the girls who I was in coding boot camp with years ago, we like became friends like pretty much day one of like coding boot camp, and she was super sweet. And then we like had our first internship together, and then we like went our separate ways with like different companies, but we've like maintained friendship on like social media, whatever. Back in coding boot camp, she was like, I really want to like be a writer. I want to write a book, like blah, blah, blah. She has a book now. It's like out.
that's
It's
so
like
cool.
on shelves. Yeah. So I had pre-ordered this book back in February or
So
something.
when's her
when
session gonna be?
I know, right?
Let's invite her.
Yeah, I should. But I pre-ordered her book back in February when she like announced that she like had a book and it was like out for pre-order, and I just got it a couple weeks ago, and so I've been reading it, and I don't feel like I have a ton of time to read. Like I want to read the whole thing in one sitting, but I pretty much just like when I do my morning pump, I'll like read it for 20 minutes while I pump in the morning.
How can you just stop?
It's really
I'm
hard.
sick. I will read until my eyes are bleeding at 4 a.m.
It's hard. And Gavin gets annoyed because the light's on, then he wants to go and he's like, turn off the light, and so it's.
That's why you gotta have a Kindle.
I know, yeah, but it's really good. I would recommend. It's called the Fortunes of Jaded Women, and it's about these like this Vietnamese family of women, and there's like all these different characters, and they have this like family curse.
I love books like that with all the different.
Yeah,
Right
like
up
each
my alley.
chapter is like a different like character so far, and then there's like a couple characters, and it's.
I
getting
feel like
very
Joy
good.
Luck Club was like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm dumb.
You also
but I
need to
that.
read Pachinko.
Okay.
Similar type of vibe.
I love books like that.
Yeah. Wow. So many book recommendations on this episode. I love it.
Love it.
I'm a book hoe.
Okay, so where can people find us?
People can find us at Naked Peach Boudoir on all of the platforms.
And we just got a new website.
Yes, it's so beautiful. Shout out to Jenna from Lunar Creative, our graphic designer. We love her.
Yeah, check us out at nakedpeachboudoir.com.
Yes.
And book a consultation.
Yeah. And then you'll get to talk to one of us on Zoom and then see us in real life as we're shooting your butt.
It's the best. Okay, then what about your social media?
You can find me, Taylor, at T-Smells with a Z on Instagram and TikTok.
And you can find me, Sierra, at Sierra PDX, CIARRA PDX.
That sounds like a commercial. Like
That
that
is
is an
like,
ad.
I want to hire you to do like a voice ad for us.
So follow me. I don't post very much, but when I do, it's hot and spicy.
And you can find me at Anna McLaughlin Photo. That's it. Okay, bye.
Bye. Should we say see you next Tuesday?
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday. And the only thing I think about is cunt.
I know, that's why it's funny.
That is funny. See all you hoes next Tuesday. 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 Hoes next Tuesday.